Finally, I show my face on my channel, and I'll be doing so on all my social media handles, however not too often. I start with a topic I facilitate very often. Other HR organizations invite me to do that for them. In fact, I'm running a program very soon, and it's on it. It's something you and I will be doing till we drop. Communication is the lifeblood of every interaction, from the home to the place where we earn money, the marketplace. So I believe that communicating effectively is something we all should be learning how to do better. We just must know how to communicate. I say something, communicate and leave the door open, because you may need to walk through that door again. I have developed this training based on my research for over 2 decades. It has gotten me better. In fact, people return back to me to say, my communication is now better at home. I call the home the back office. If the back office is not in a good place, your front office, where you earn money, will suffer. So, I'm asking you to click the notification button, because I'll be doing a lot on this channel. I want to keep my training free here to this close community. You subscribe to get in here. Now click the notification button and forward to somebody to subscribe, listen to this, and expect more. Let's go to the slides. Welcome in. This is Communicating for Results. I believe you are ready to learn some new things that will help you communicate well, achieving results on all fronts, from your assignments in the office to the home. Who am I? I'm a human resource consultant of over 2 decades with a heavy stint on training. I have facilitated various topics, worked with and for other HR organizations. I'm the principal consultant at Portshaw Edge Limited. I just love to challenge people to do whatever they are engaged in best. In this training module, we'll define communication rightly, identify how communication style is acquired so you can help your next generation, list the 3 levels in empathic understanding, enumerate the 3 types of feedback that we all give over an 8-hour period whilst working in the office and even at home. Identify the principles of effective communication. We will list the steps in planning every communication so we can communicate rightly, helping other people to understand what we want and achieve results. We'll talk about how to understand the way you can consistently activate a communication hormone, which is in everyone. For this last subtopic, I have a video, an already existing one that is extensive on it, so I cannot put it here. Please go look for the video. The title is Jump High Like a Basketballer with Your Dreams. Release your performance enhancement drug. That is the communication hormone. Go look for the video and watch. Have you asked yourself how you acquired your unique communication style? Because we all have unique way in which we communicate. Totally unique to you as an individual, totally unique to myself as an individual. You need to ask yourself, how did I acquire my unique communication style? It's something you should think about. 3 levels we go through before we start school, actually at the age of 6 to 7. The id, the ego, and the superego. When we were born, we had this personality that Sigmund Freud referred to as the id. The id is present at birth and runs on pure instinct, desire, and need. It encompasses the most primitive part of the personality, just yearns for what it feels and must have it, far from reality. The ego arises from the id. Its job is to acknowledge and deal with reality, ensuring that the its impulses are put in check. Just like the id, it is interested in seeking pleasure, however, in a realistic way. The superego is that stage where the child starts being aware and uphold a sense of right and wrong. These values are learned from the parents and keep growing as a child interacts with other people, like teachers and whoever they see as a role model. We come from different ethnic origins, and we have different physiques, we have different gender, and of course, we go through different backgrounds. However, the backgrounds are really the same: educational, financial, social, religious, political. Is there anyone I have left out? Think about it. Those are different backgrounds you and I go through. And within these backgrounds, we have different things that motivate us. We have different intelligence and abilities. Now, we go through different experiences, even in those backgrounds. We may share these backgrounds, but we go through different experiences. We decode things differently because of our unique perceptive filters. As we grow, we develop unique perceptive filters. We see things differently. Our perceptions of the same situation are different. Here is a picture that I use very often, put it up, and I notice that people see different things. The first time I looked at this picture, I saw an old woman. When I looked closely, I could see a young woman. The same thing, put it up anywhere. People are going to see things differently. They will see different things looking at this picture because we have very unique perceptive filters developed through our growing period. Communication has gone through different definitions over time. It started from passing of information from one person to another, passing of information from one person to another with meaning, further went on to be passing of information from one person to another with meaning and getting feedback. However, let me ask you, with these different definitions that has been happening, how has communication been? When I ask owners of businesses, top management, what exactly are the real challenges you have in the organization? Oh, they tell me they have intelligent staff. However, there's problem with communication. And you know why? It's the way we are being taught. So we often have communication breakdowns. Here we have two people quarreling. One is actually pointing fingers, and it could get messy. The next picture you have there, a table is being broken simply because someone is not giving attention. These two scenarios can happen in offices. Having known a few more things about communication so far, position yourself to help your next generation develop their unique communication style. Help your child manage the it stage by not letting him or her have his way all the time. Be the right role model and also put them in the presence of people that are modeling good behavior. Let's go deeper. What then is communication? Our transforming definition, which I've used over the years, has helped me so much. And people get back after training to tell me there's so much change in me and it's been noticed. Communication is anything that I do, say, or write that will cause someone else or a group of persons to do something in my favor or disfavor. Which one do you want? However, I'll submit to you that everyone wants to be treated favorably. Everyone. And so, if you want to be treated favorably, in a beautiful manner, your message received, decoded, and used for results, then we should be thinking of communication much more than we are doing. When we started teaching communication, we said communication were just words and body language. As I researched, I saw a third one. It's in literature. Emotions. We talk with emotions. We buy with emotions. Check in your house. There are things that you have bought based solely on emotions. It's there on your shelf. It's there in your house. Oh, I don't really know why I bought this, but you've paid for it. We are emotional beings. And look at the percentage emotions carry. The highest, 40 to 50%. Body language, 10 to 40%. See how low words are. So, if it's this way, why were we teaching just words and body language and totally relegated to the background, or didn't even know about it, that emotions carry this huge percentage? However, as I teach it, practice it, people are getting better, I am getting better. There's another part of communication called paralanguage, which we use, you use, people around you use it. I'm using it right now, but we don't know so much about it. You're not seeing my face, you're hearing my voice, so there's voice inflection here. The pitches vary. I'm feeling very excited, and you can pick it from my voice. The same with you, the same with people. Now, in paralanguage, you lay emphasis with your voice inflection, with your feelings, with your pitch when you talk. I am a human resource consultant. I am a human resource consultant. I am a human resource consultant. Same sentence said differently. I have laid emphasis at different points. You use it to give instructions. I want that document now. There's a pause and you go for now. So you laid emphasis on when you wanted that document. So we use the voice inflection to lay emphasis. We use our feelings to lay emphasis, to tell people what is important at this particular time, or what is important in that statement you just made. These are different communication scenarios. Let's look at the two people at the far left. We call the dark-skinned guy Inanga, and we call the light-skinned guy Tom. Inanga is telling Tom something, stressing it, and Tom is doing all he knows to do to understand what Inanga is saying, decode it, and use it. So he's giving him rapt attention. To my far right, same with your screen. Someone is trying to do a presentation, convince a panel, participants about something. It's in his head and he needs to transfer it to those people. They need to get to an understanding before those question marks disappear. For now, they're still questioning what he is presenting. The man in the center is also communicating, however, with himself. We call it intrapersonal communication. The first two were interpersonal communication. We all talk with ourselves, plan. Like he is planning here. Either he's planning his communication or he's planning his day. or he's planning to go for a meeting. Whichever way, there's communication going on within him. And to the far right, at the base, there's a new entrant to the group. He's being welcomed. He is watching everybody's body language and the emotions with which they receive him. So he'll know, am I welcome here or not? If he's not welcome, he will know. And to the far left at the base, someone is trying to convince management I need a raise. They are not listening, they are not hearing him, so he brings all his relatives that he's catering for. They have to see them to understand his consistent request for a pay raise. And so the boss says, Waverly, must you drag your whole extended family in here every time you ask for a raise? Simply because you're not hearing me. For you to be able to hear the speaker, you must travel to his world and go through 3 stages: the physical, the psychological, and the emotional. So, from the first stage, you need to connect correctly with whoever you're communicating with. Who did you go to see? Your boss, a client, a colleague? You must be able to connect physically. Maintain the same eye level with the person. Dress appropriately for the occasion. Use the correct level of language to address the person. We're still at the physical level. That way you can connect properly at that first level. Next is when you are talking, the listener is painting pictures of whatever you're saying. Try to make sense of what you're saying. That's a psychological level. And if he's connecting well, he's making the right pictures, you'll see him nodding in agreement, following you. If he has a notebook or a notepad, he's taking brief notes because he has to refer to it. Good listeners do that. Now, if you can take it past the psychological level to the emotional, where you will sell the emotion that you came with, where you will sell the emotion that you are speaking with to the person, you have taken the person to what we call empathic understanding. Travels through these 3 stages. So if you came with excitement, your listener will be excited about what you're saying. If you came with conviction, you'll be able to convince the person to the extent that he brings out his check or he says, we'll talk about this some more. What emotions do you approach what you're going to do? That's the emotion your listener will eventually run with. That's when the connection has been done. If we take people at our meetings through these 3 levels, meetings will be shorter. If they can connect, if the listener can connect with you through these 3 levels, meetings will be shorter. And that means the person came with what Stephen Covey calls the total man. He came with his mind, he came with his body, he came with his spirit, he came with his heart. We used to know that man has 3 dimensions. But Stephen Covey says man has 4. Body, mind, spirit, heart. And each of them must have a level of intelligence to be able to function maximally. The body wants to survive, the mind wants to learn, the spirit wants to contribute, and the heart wants to connect in relationship. So if we can connect in those 3 levels with our total man, we'll be able to influence people rightly to do what we want them to do. And that is basically communication. Remember the definition? Communication is anything that I do, say, or write that will cause someone else or a group of persons to do something in my favor. When communicating, you are trying to influence somebody to do something for you. 3 major styles of influencing: passive, aggressive, assertive. You are either making somebody do something for you with any of the styles. The passive person is usually the quiet, reticent person. We usually call him or her the diffident member of the group. If the passive person meets an aggressive person, trust me, the aggressor will take everything, capture the airtime, hold it, and intimidate the passive person. It's the assertive person that is a match for the aggressor. The assertive person politely puts the aggressor in his place. So, influencing skills helps us meet our own needs and interests in an open and positive way without negating the needs of others. That is the right definition for the assertive person. So, think about it. Who do you want to be in getting things done? The passive person that most of the time walks away with nothing and feels cheated, or the aggressor who grabs everything and makes every other person except the assertive person feel cheated? Because the assertive person will rise up, speak for himself, and even speak for other people. Oral communication is one aspect of the communication that you do. There's another aspect which is written. However, most of the time, you and I are engaged in oral communication. And look at all the characteristics of oral communication. These are all the things that are speaking when you are communicating one-on-one with another person. Your appearance, your movements, your posture, your voice, your position, face and eyes, and all the gesticulations. They are all passing across a message. And the beautiful thing is that the other person is sane and can give you immediate feedback on how you are affecting him or her with the totality of this communication components. Written communication. We all engage in this. We write texts, we write emails, we take minutes. Think of all the communication that you put down on pen and paper. And these are the major 3 advantages of written communication, which you must take cognizance of and use. You can refer to it can remind you of agreements, and it can reinforce behaviors. What we were supposed to be doing, what everyone is supposed to be doing. Every time you finish a meeting, make sure you document, get back to your desk, quickly jot down something. You can even send it out as a reminder. These are the agreements. These are things we have agreed to do. It's written down. You can always refer to it when someone wants to do something else and remind you of what you're supposed to be doing. Write it down. It has and will continue to save situations and avoid arguments. We often go through 3 types of feedback over the course of the working hours in the office and even at home. You are either given non-evaluative message. Yes, someone sent you a message. You have not really gone through it, just give an information, I have received it. It's simple. Now, when you go through it and it's not what you were expecting, you can correct the initial message. You can challenge the original message. If it's okay, if it's what you wanted, if it's what it's supposed to be, you can send back a reinforcing feedback, acknowledging clear receipt of intended message. Over the course of an 8-hour period, you are giving any one of this feedback. And even at home, you are using this feedback. So next time you're giving a feedback, ask yourself, which one am I saying here? Am I just acknowledging that I've received a message, or I've gone through the message, I need to correct this, or I need to reinforce this? To avoid communication breakdown, you need to watch which type of feedback you are giving. It's important we avoid these scenarios. I put it up again so that you can see it. These scenarios are in office settings and they can happen. So plan your communication. Start by knowing the reason you want to communicate. What's the purpose of this writing? What's the purpose of this call I want to make? And who am I calling? Who am I writing to? So visualize your reader or your listener and put your ideas together. Make it factual. Gather the facts to back up whatever ideas you're sending across and organize it in the most effective order so that the person can use your information, can use your write-up to achieve results. Remember, the topic is communicating for results. Write it, revise it, and proofread if it's to be written. If it's oral, rehearse. We all speak with ourselves. We'll all talk within. Rehearse. And actually ask yourself, if I receive this kind of communication that I'm about to give, how will I take it? That will help you sit down and look at what you are sending out again. Every day, observe the 5 minutes rule at the close of the day. Take time out. Go through the communication encounters you've had and ask yourself, were they good? Did I hurt someone? So that you can retrace your steps and make things right. I often say, communicate and leave the door open because you may need to pass through that door again. It's important you do that. Practice the principles of communication is the second point to avoid communication breakdown. Some teachers teach 5 C's of communication. I have chosen to stay with 7. On my left, number 1 to 7, I listed it there. If you were with me in class, I would have told you this is an exercise. Where should we start from? So we've already done the exercise. I will say, first thing you want to communicate, choose to be clear. Clarity. When you choose to be clear about who you're talking with. Consider the person. Consider the person. Who am I going to communicate with? Who am I communicating with? So that you can open cautiously the right way. Some people like their titles. Use it. Who are you addressing? Address correctly. And try as much as possible to give concrete facts in what you are putting together. So gather your facts or gather your ideas and seek out the facts about what you're writing. Make it brief because people are busy, especially if it's going upwards. Your bosses are busy. So we talk about the conciseness. However, make sure that you address the points. People can understand what you are writing or saying. Use the correct level of language so people are not lost. Address people with their correct level of language. If there are technical jargons, take time to explain them. Remember, you want people to use your communication to achieve results. You'll be turning towards completeness when you practice the first six. However, make sure you are giving a complete message so that the recipient of your communication can use your communication to achieve results. Some teach five, like I said, and these are the five. Listen. No, listen intentionally. Travel to the speaker's world. Pass through the three levels. Connect correctly. Make yourself comfortable to hear, you the listener. Travel with the person as he's speaking. Paint the right pictures. Confirm that you are understanding what the person is saying after he has finished speaking. Or you make a call across if it's written communication. Go to the speaker's world. Yes, you risk change. Risk it. When people risk that change at meetings, meetings are shorter. That means they really listen. And when they listen, they won't start off with what they came to the meeting with. They will start off where they can connect to the speaker. In addition to what you told us, that's how you'll come in. If I may understand what you said this, you said that, because you listened. This is the empathic understanding. Want to travel? Travel this way. See points made with the same eyes like the speaker. Attain the same frame of reference by painting the right pictures. Enter the same emotional plane of the speaker. Like I said, you risk change. It's a good risk. Oh, if I change that much, who will I be? Do I still have an identity? Yes, you do. Follow the speaker. Understand the speaker. Make your contributions. You're still that same person. Especially at team meetings. You need to come to the point where the idea that is being put across becomes everybody's idea, our idea. In teams, you have to pick up the third person pronoun. Us, we, dropping the first person pronoun. So risk that change so you can hear the speaker. Objectives of active listening majorly is to understand the speaker. If you've read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he says, seek to understand. To understand the speaker and give adequate feedback that can be used to achieve results. That's what we want to achieve. Results. When you listen, you show people that you respect them, and it helps build relationships. You, the listener, increases in knowledge. The brain doesn't stop because you're listening. Ideas are being generated. And listening actually builds loyalty. When people know that you can listen, they'll be loyal towards you. So listen to people. Listen intentionally. What distracts you? Eliminate that distraction. And look at Tom. Look at Tom. He's keen on what Inanga is saying, maintaining eye contact. He's alert, well seated. When you have listened and you need to clarify some things, ask questions. Paraphrase if need be. If I may understand what you were talking or what you were saying, and you paraphrase it, the person can say, no, you didn't get me correctly. Or yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Be an empathic listener. Practice empathic understanding by going through the 3 stages. Downplay the intrapersonal noise in you and hear the other person. Take short notes for reference because you may need to refer to it to clarify what the speaker was saying. Then note the silent signals. They reinforce or contradict what is being said. I've put listening or communicating effectively in an acronym that can help you. Look at it. SCOLE. SCOLE. Look at the letters. With this acronym, you can easily remember some things that I've said here. Use same language symbols so people can understand you. Question for better understanding. Confirm your understanding so you know what you're agreeing to do for the next meeting. Be observant. Communication is not just words. Note the silent signals. Listen to both the content and the music behind it. The content is what you're saying, the music behind it is the emotions. We speak with emotions. We are emotional beings. Empathize with the speaker. If you don't understand the speaker, paraphrase. Then firm up agreement. So that when you're coming back for the next meeting, everyone is prepared. I put here the books you can read for further understanding on communication. Pick some of these books. They will help your communication. There are more topics under communication. I'll be dropping some of them here. And we run these programs in offices. That's what I do, training staff of organizations. Which one would you want us to work with you? Training your staff. However, my next training on this channel will be emotional intelligence. And I'm inviting you. I've already invited you. You're going to hear it soon. We have a gift. We'll incorporate the highlighted course in any of the other communication course you pick. And there's a discount. We hope to see you. In closing, I'll now tell you when we started communicating. In all the classes I asked this question, people struggled to give me the answer. A few of my classes got it right. Mothers, do you remember when you were pregnant and your doctor told you, if you don't hear the baby move in 24 hours, report to the clinic? In other words, if your baby does not communicate with you, report to the clinic. That is, do you remember when you placed your hands on the protruding tummies of your wives and you heard a kick? That was communication. We started communicating in vitro from the womb. You see how long we'll be doing? From when we're in the womb till we drop. So if you're given 80 years, 90, that's how long you'll be communicating. Isn't it what we should be learning how to do better every time? I'm inviting you to my next class. It's on emotional intelligence. Have you seen? That is a generation that talks so much about mental health. that's having the suicides, the killings, the depressions. Why? Come learn in my class. I'm inviting you. Invite somebody when you see it. I don't know what format it will be. Will it be recorded like this, or will it be a live session? For you to know, fill the form in the description below. I'll send you a must read on emotional intelligence, preparing you for the class. You need to read it. Everyone who aspires to be in the great place, large place, needs to read that. So I hope to see you. Thank you for being with me on this.